First, I fall sick for 2 weeks. So a community health worker came and visited my site, and she encouraged or advised me to go for an HIV test. So I go for that an HIV test, and I found that already I'm HIV positive. So now my counselor tried to counsel me to live a positive life, to have a positive attitude towards my status. The first person I've told that I'm HIV positive now is my mom and my brothers in my family. So disclosing my status to them, it was difficult. They never accepted that, in such a way that they told me that I am insane. I started to be insane. They don't need people living positive, HIV positive here in their compounds, in the compounds, in our family compound. So what I've experienced, it's so harsh, it's so hard, it's so difficult. Yes. So I had a lot of tears. Yes. So what they did, they bought me a plate, my cup, and a spoon. They told me that are my utensils that I will use for the kitchen side. They told me that they don't want to see me anymore touching any kitchen utensils or cooking any food for them. So I will be receiving food through my plate. So that's the difficult task I've found at home. And in the bedroom side, they bought me a blanket, my own blanket. But before we used to sleep, we sleep in one bed, and we share a bed and a blanket with my younger brother. So that's a difficult task. I felt much stigmatized and discriminated in that way. We are discriminated in Swaziland as people living with HIV and AIDS. In some instances, it may be religions or our culture. It discriminates our status. Like in religion, if you go to in a religion, you find yourself not attending a church afterwards because of the way they are accepting you after disclosing your status to them. We are facing a big challenge towards people living with HIV and AIDS in workplaces. Like when we're as Swazis, they don't accept us in workplaces. If I say I'm HIV positive or I've disclosed my status to the public, and I'm going to ask for an employment somewhere in the workplaces, they will just say, oh, you are HIV positive. We don't accept HIV positive people here. We as people living with HIV and AIDS, we are also stigmatizing ourselves. You see? Like some other work, you say, oh, I can't do this work because I'm sick, I'm always sick, so I can't do this work. I can't do this work. So we are stigmatizing yourself. So your CD count value will be always low. So what we have to do, we have to avoid stigma and discrimination. Yes. We have to cope with stigma and discrimination because in some instances there is no way to avoid it. So what we are trying to form, the networks we are trying to form, to be together, to root out the stigma and discrimination. to get off about stigma and discrimination and look one way. How are we going to live? How are we living? That's all. As men, I encourage others to, as men, to form a network so that we can be in a network so that everyone can know what are we talking about. What are challenges we are faced in Swaziland? How can we improve Swaziland? Because Swaziland without us, tomorrow it's nothing. There is no Swaziland after when we are not caring about Swaziland. My dream is to live positively until I meet my death. I cannot be killed by HIV. So always I tell myself that wherever I go, say my virus, now we're going. Don't disturb me. So I hope and I dream for the youth in Swaziland and for Swaziland as a nation to have a light on people living with HIV positive, because all we are infected and affected. So all we have to be together to fight HIV and AIDS. So my dream is to see the nation fighting against HIV and AIDS. My name is Mlungisi from Sitegis at Lubombo region in Swaziland. So I am 21 years old now. I've been living with HIV for 3 years. So I'm still living with it. And I will be living with HIV for the coming years. Yeah.